We are getting our arse kicked. What the heck is going on? The Germans, sir. There are too many. Tell me something I don't know. Your fly is open, sir. Oh. Right before World War I, Germany wanted to compete with the UK on everything you can think of. Industrialization? Yes, please. Trains? Sure, yes. New deadlier weapons? Build the strongest navy? Hell yeah. Did someone just say navy? No! Then the First World War started and everyone went nuts. Now Germany and UK are officially enemies. You want to make your enemy weak? Just make sure they can't get supplies like food or fuel and their job is done. And that's exactly what Britain did. And the Germans had suffered for 2 years. But not anymore. They changed this guy who was a bit of a wuss with this guy. We want to sink their fleet, right? Right. But they have a bigger fleet than ours. So we can't fight them directly, right? Right. Wrong. We do fight them. We make spamferkel out of them and then we'll serve them on a rusted pike to their allies. Daddy, chill. Listen, we send a couple of our ships to attack them here, right? Okay, so they will send some of their ships to attack us, right? Maybe. But then I come with the rest of our ships and I smash their pathetic little fleet. Puff. This looks like a pretty obvious trap. In an effort to make it not look like a trap, on 25th of April the Germans sent a scouting group which fired just once over Great Yarmouth and shell low-stopped for 20 minutes before retreating, making little to no damage to the military bases. But that was enough to make the Brits angry, so their Grand Fleet Admiral Jellicoe dispatched a battle squadron from Scapa Flow in Scotland to join with Beatty's fleet at Rosyth. You smell it? Yes, it's a bunch of rotten algae over there. Not that, you dumb cuff. It's the smell of victory. Send the signal, boys. As part of Shear's plan, he sent a small fleet led by this guy to lure out the British forces from Rosyth, while he departed 1 hour later, following close by at 50 miles way behind. The winds are heavy, the tides are wavy, is the whole British Navy. The what? How did they find out? You know, sweetie, I'm going to win big this time. You may not know it yet, but when it happens, there will be lots of signals. Lots of them. The British were playing spy on the Germans, so they intercepted their signals. They couldn't understand the thing, but they thought it may be important as there were just too many of them sent out. So Jellicoe wanted to set a trap on a trap and make the German boat snap. Therefore he told Beatty to meet him in an area that happened to be close to the planned route of the German fleet. Beatty was close by, the German scouting fleet was close by, but neither one knew about each other. And then the unexpected happened, right before their eyes. A Danish steamer was passing by. At first they saw the smoke, so in order to clarify what that is, both the Germans and the British sent ships to investigate. Hadn't that Danish steamer decided to go exactly in that area precisely at that time, maybe the British plan to face the Germans at full strength may have worked. Enemy in sight! This encounter was pure gold for the Germans, as Jellicoe was still 65 miles further north. And in the first 20 minutes, they ruffled the British feathers hard. The Lion hit, the Princess Royal hit, the Tiger hit, Indefatigable sank, Queen Mary blown up. The Germans are winning. Meanwhile, Beatty was unaware that the entire German fleet was around. With providential luck, he and Jellicoe received information from a patrolling ship commanded by Commodore Goodenough, that's his name, that he spotted the main body of the High Sea Fleet. When Beatty heard that, he rushed towards Jellicoe's Grand Fleet. Now the Germans are following Beatty, heading directly in the crossfire of the British mighty fleet. What in the world is going on? Jellicoe was asking himself the same question, as the information from Commodore Goodenough was actually bad enough for the Admiral to be able to make a decision. How far away were the enemy forces? Was the enemy's course? Both being of vital importance in order to decide the method and the moment of deployment. Finally, Jellicoe sighted Beatty, but he still didn't know where the enemies were, and it was getting dark. He needs to act quickly. Some minutes later, at around 6:14 PM, he finally received an answer to his urgent message. Where the heck are the enemy forces? With no hesitation, in just 20 seconds after receiving the signal, he decided what position to take. The British forces started to deploy on the port wing division to take advantage of what light remained. For those like me who thought about this port, it's not that one. It's the left side of the ship. Anyways, British deploying. Okay, so the British Navy was like this, and the German fleet was like this, which is a pretty bad position to be when you have a naval fight. So for the Germans, the situation was, how to say it, horrendous. However, they sustained little damage while being able to do some of their own, ironically sinking the British flagship called the Invincible. At 6:36 PM, Shear called a 180 degrees turn, which is a fancy way to say that he ordered the retreat. And in this process, his ships released thick smoke screens. Jellicoe remains baffled, as he's not sure what just happened. Okay, so by now the visibility had worsened and thick smoke lay over the seas. By 6:45 PM, the contact with the Germans had been lost, and an unnatural silence descended. But the battle was not over yet. To keep this short, by 3 AM next morning it was a game of maneuvering and outmaneuvering on both sides, shooting each other in the dark without really knowing what was actually happening, and because of that, at the end, there was no clear winner. 151 British ships fought with 99 German ships that day, making it the biggest and most epic naval battle of the Great War, and the third one in the entire history. What do you call a German that loses? A sauerkraut. Dude, that's racist. Battle of Somme was one of the deadliest battles of the First World War, which for the Brits was like winning the lottery only in reverse, as their army suffered the highest number of losses in a single day, 19,000 troops to be precise. But wait, there's more, as by the end it amounted to more than 1 million casualties on both sides, which can be synonymous with futile, indiscriminated slaughter. However, this is not the only reason why it has historical significance, as it's during this battle when something that fascinates the mind of boys young and old alike even to this day made its appearance for the first time. If you thought about these giggly card decks, what is wrong with you? Anyways, we'll get to that later. So at the end of 1915, the Central Powers managed to achieve a number of milestones on all fronts. Russian army crushed, France advanced, stopped, Allies at Gallipoli defeated, Serbia smashed. The pressure on France and Britain was mounting. They had to do something about it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where should we attack the crowd? Maybe in a place where we both have troops? That's actually a good idea. They will not see that coming. We should start right away. Pas de précipitation. Where is the hurry? We have time till summer. The Germans attacked us. What? The Germans attacked us at Verdun. Ah, des Allemands. They are savage beasts fighting in the cold. Now, as contradictory as it may sound, France was in a hurry to start the Somme offensive, because they hoped that would remove the pressure off Verdun where they were getting their arse kicked. So they urged Britain to attack ASAP. The battle started on 1st of July and the British were not ready. You could tell that because they lost the biggest number of troops in a single day, around 3% of all their casualties during the entire war. The French scored some small victories but with immense cost of human lives. After losing so many troops in one single day, like a sick gambler, Haig continued the offensive throughout the summer, hoping to score a big victory. But he didn't. Okay, he did, but it was just a few square kilometers for 100,000 casualties, and he would still say he broke even. Finally, the summer is over, so the rain, the mud, the cold, the utter misery would soon follow. Again, something had to be done. Remember I said during this battle something appeared for the first time? It was the ace in the sleeve to make the Germans bleed, a pledge to give an edge, the upper hand to take a stand, the wild card to take a flank. It was the one and only tank. So on the 15th of September 1916, Haig ordered the use of the tank for the first time in battle, in one that would be the last big operation of the Brits on the Somme. For many, this was a tactical error, as the number of the tanks available was low and those who were available, not all of them were. Therefore, Haig lost the opportunity to surprise the enemy with this new hardware. And because of that, the British War Office lost interest in the technology and almost cancelled any new developments. After a couple of months, as the weather worsened, they had to decide what to do with the slaughterhouse of the world. Attack in waves a heavily fortified position, and worse, continuing doing so for months and expecting a different outcome? What moron thought this was a great idea? You did, sir? Yes, I did. I did indeed. Anyways, water under the bridge. I say, let's stop it. And just like that, more than 1 million soldiers were again exchanged for a few square kilometers of territory. In spring 1917, the French offensive on the Western Front was a disaster. More than 1 million soldiers died by that point, out of a total of 20 million males of all ages. My dudes, my beloved soldiers, gather around, come on. Okay, so I summoned all of you here to thank you for your service. I know you are sad cause we didn't win, but you know what? What's winning after all? Winning is for losers. It's on the loss that all the greatest lessons are learned. Like you should not ever charge through mud towards machine guns. Anyways, we can't all be winners all the time. And this was just the first round. We still have time to score high. So, to cheer you up, I say we should celebrate. There is 1 cup of tea and 1 biscuit for each and every one of you. Following the French mutiny, the commander of British armies in Europe, you know this guy already, Field Marshal Haig, decided that Britain must begin a new offensive of its own. So he decided to attack the Ypres salient, a long-held badge in the Allied front lines in the Flanders region of Belgium. But to achieve that, he called for a preliminary attack on the Messines ridge, as it was providing the Germans with a fortified higher ground position impossible to penetrate. The commander of the mission was Sir Herbert Plumer, who in preparation for the attack employed the famous tunnelers. We need to dig some tunnels under the enemy lines. As I said, we have to dig tunnels for this mission. I'm not following. We need volunteers for this job. I still don't get where this is going. We want you to volunteer to dig these tunnels. Let me think. No, you should use those guys. No one cares if they live or die anyways. Why, are they criminals? Worse, they're Irish. With the help of the tunnelers, Plummer was able to take the Messines ridge. They skillfully dug tunnels under the enemy lines and placed 19 mines in them. And right before the attack, they detonated all of them at once. And because of that, as many as 10,000 German soldiers were killed. The explosion was so big that it created a small earthquake. The blast was heard 200 kilometers away in London, and some craters left behind were even 40 meters deep. It's considered the largest explosive force in warfare prior to the use of the atomic bomb. The attack that followed was like stealing candy from a kid, as the Germans were left in pure shock. The mission was a resounding success. And because of that, the British High Command gained too much confidence for the rest of the offensive. And to the surprise of literally no one, it turned out to be another mud-soaked madness, throwing almost 500,000 lives just for a handful square kilometers of territory.